What's going on, my Flappy family? It's your boy Izzy. Welcome if you're new. So the Caitlin Clark fan base ended up putting on their Sherlock Holmes outfits and dug up this footage right here with Cathy using some weird verbiage about Caitlin Clark, and they're saying this is evidence that what NAPHEESA said is true. Oh man, we're about to get all the way into it, but before we do that, y'all make sure y'all hit the thumbs up for your boy if you like the content. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 34.3, so if you can help me out with that, I highly appreciate it. And don't forget to get in the comment section and let me know what y'all think about this one. Let's get it. I specifically remember this interview last year, and I wanted to go back and find the entire interview because now that I'm peeping out what happened over the past 2 years, we gotta dissect every little thing that Cathy is saying at this point, man. Now, there was a specific piece of the interview that was going viral. We're gonna play that part first, and then I'm gonna break down all the other pieces. So let's go ahead and get into the part that is going viral. Now, if we remember, Fee brought up Caitlin Clark, right? Paige and Angel in her statement on how are we supposed to pay these players, right? What are we going to do about their pay base and how they're coming in with all this popularity, right? And Cathy specifically, coming from female, specifically talked about Caitlin Clark, how she should be grateful that this platform is providing her with a chance to make more money, all that type of stuff, right? We know the crazy stuff Fee had brought out in that interview. So let's go ahead and take a listen to what Cathy said in the viral part.
So you mentioned human capital. We have to talk about pay or play. There has been a lot of shock, a lot of outrage at the fact that Caitlin Clark, top draft pick, is going to earn $76,535 as part of the rookie wage scale. Now, this is not something the team decides. It's not something you decide. This is the rookie wage scale. And it's worth pointing out, this is less than 1% of what her male counterpart will make in the first year. Twitter X was exploding with this, a lot of articles about this. How do you explain this to fans?
All right, well, let me clarify first, because it's proxy season, right? No CEO do you just put the base pay in there. You put their bonus, you put their stock options, you put everything. Caitlin has the ability to make up to $500,000 just in WNBA wages this year. So, of course, they're just looking at a base which is collectively bargained. And actually, it's low because she's the #1 pick. She'll make a little more than that. But she also has millions and millions of dollars of endorsements. She's actually, because she declared to become pro, her endorsements are higher in dollar value. She has a global platform now, not just a U.S. platform. So she's going to do just fine, as will the top players in the league, as every league does. Also, those comparisons to the men, those men's leagues are 75 to 120 years old. We're tipping off our 28th season. I would say if you looked at them 28 seasons in, we're further ahead. But I realize we still have a lot of work to do. And it's all about the ecosystem around us that drive.
Okay, so that's where the clip stops. Okay, so we hear what Cathy had to say right now. There's a few questions that I have for Cathy, man. Cathy, can you come on in here, Cathy? Do your house stay on Caitlin Clark Pocket Boulevard? Is that where your house stays? And are you a part of the neighborhood watch? Because you were pocket watching right here, fam. Oh my goodness. Pure pocket watching. What? What are we talking about in it? What is she talking about? Fam, let's start right here. $500,000. Hold on, let me off wages alone from the WNBA. Where, Cathy? Where? Where are you getting this money from? Even with the Rookie of the Year, even if she had the chance to win MVP, the Commissioner's Cup, fam, none of that is equaling up to $500,000. So where is that coming from? Where is that coming from? Then she ended up saying, well, yeah, she has millions of dollars in endorsements, like she had something to do with that. Like she had something to do, like the WNBA had anything to do with her endorsements. Like she didn't have these endorsements in college. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Granted, yeah, her dollar value in her endorsements went up, but who's to say if she had a couple more years in college, that wouldn't have happened. If she would have stayed another year, that wouldn't have happened. I mean, we acting like we didn't see Paige Beckers go crazy with endorsements, especially with Nike. Juju Watkins in these State Farm commercials, the Nike deal she got. You telling me it's because of the WNBA, because she went pro, her dollar value went up in endorsements? These are the things people aren't talking about in these viral clips. They're not bringing these things up, right? Now let's talk about the global statement. The global statement, are we serious? She's on a global platform now. Y'all, can y'all remind me or correct me if I'm wrong? Didn't they show the college tournament, the NCAA tournament on ESPN? Aren't the WNBA games shown on ESPN as well? Well, what is she talking about right here? Hey, Kathy, I got one for you. Give me one game that peaked at 16.1 million, that had 14 million viewers on it in the WNBA. Give me one game out of the past 2 years that happened. As the great Denzel Washington said in Training Day, you can't do it. So you just want us to forget the Caitlyn and the Angel Reese championship game? You want us to forget that, huh? You want us to forget that there were foreign reporters coming over to interview Caitlin Clark during the Big Ten tournament. Not even the Final Four or any of that. The Big Ten tournament. If I would have allowed Kathy to talk anymore, her nose is coming through the screen, y'all. Her nose was coming through the screen if I allowed her to talk anymore. Oh my goodness. Now, granted, she's a commissioner, so she's supposed to make the league seem like it's beneficial to play here, right? Because you want these other college players, all these foreign players, you want them to try their darnest to get into the league because you need the talent, right? But you got to admit, this kind of seemed like some evidence towards what NAPHEESA Collier has stated, because look how she's trying to sprinkle sugar on boo-boo here and make it seem like the league absolutely helped Caitlin Clark here. Try to make it seem like the league leveled Caitlin Clark up. I don't know, man. I don't know about that, Kathy. She was getting those endorsements before y'all. She was getting that viewership before y'all. I feel like she was global before y'all. Now, the funniest thing is the host didn't even ask you about all that extra stuff. She asked you about the $76,000. Explain the $76,000. Why is that base salary like that? That's what she wanted you to explain. Not explain that, well, Caitlin is well off. She's well off no matter what we pay her. That's not what she asked you. Now, what's strange about it is she ended up talking about, finally, what helps the $76,000. How does that change? What to do about the $76,000. She went into it, right? For the rest of the interview. I'm not even going to waste y'all time with it. She went into it, right? But I'm just like, yo, you didn't have to come up and say all of this about Caitlin Clark. It's almost like that question hit a nerve, right? She had to say, well, first, let me clear this up, right? And then she brought up all the things that had nothing to do with them. Lies and nothing. Like, what are you talking about, Kathy? And that's what I'm saying. Now, after seeing what transpired over the past 2 years, now we got to question and nitpick every little thing. Like I said, we got to nitpick everything. I want y'all to listen to this.
Everyone says you are leading this league through a period of hypergrowth. And I think there's no doubt to that. It was so exciting to watch the draft. It was so exciting to watch my two boys want to watch the draft, the WNBA draft, which was a first. And we have to start there because Caitlin Clark going #1 to Indiana, we've seen the impact that she has had on college basketball. But the question is, what impact do you think she and these other amazing players who are rookies now along with her are going to have on the league?
Yeah, it's such a great time. We're hitting the confluence, Julia, of a variety of positive elements. It's these players, they have huge brands coming in. NIL, which is just endorsements in the pros, has actually been a net positive because they already have, Angel Reese has like 7 or 8 million social media followers, and she's outstanding. And I got to meet her this weekend, and Caitlin and the whole group. And Camila Cardoso is a great story, you know, coming over at 15 years old from Brazil with the dream of playing professional basketball. She said to me on stage when I read her name, Thank you for making my dream come true. So, I mean, it's really just an outstanding draft class, joining an amazing set of 144 players. It's going to be competitive. There's, one thing I know after a long 33 years at Deloitte, that you need 3 things in sports. You need rivalries, household names, and games of consequence. And March Madness was chock full of that, and the WNBA season hopefully will be too. But we're really looking forward to capitalizing on this moment because it is a moment we're ready for. If you don't follow us, 2 years ago, we were the first of all, we're the longest tenured women's professional sports league in the country by double any other. But we're also the first to raise capital, and we raised $75 million in February of 22, not knowing that we were preparing for this moment, and now it's very clear that, thank gosh we did that. We've really changed the game in marketing and digital and globalizing the game. You mentioned expansion. We're going to expand up to 16 teams in the next few years. We're at 13 now with Golden State coming in next year. So it's just this confluence of all of this happening at one time.
Now, y'all probably like, Izzy, she didn't say anything wrong here, right? Except the part where they were ready for this. They were not ready for this at all, y'all. The whole said how you feel the impact of Caitlyn and the rest of these players, right? So, yeah, you can talk about other players, but just kind of peep. There were no special sauce stories for Caitlyn. There was no celebratory words for Caitlyn. Good story for Angel, right? Oh, she's so amazing. The 7 million people on Instagram and social media, right? Then she jumped to Cardoso. Cardoso. Hey, look, I love Cardoso, man. But the 3 main players with endorsements that I can remember were Caitlyn, Angel, and Cameron. Those were the 3 main ones with big endorsements, right? So I'm just like, yo, you had nothing to say about Caitlyn in this one? Nothing. You jumped right to Angel and then Cardoso. Then you threw Caitlyn in there real quick. You know, Caitlyn and all the others, you know. Hey, I'm probably nitpicking right here. All right, I'm having some fun. But fam, you got to pay attention to these things. Now that we done seen what done happened, all right? Now that we're putting it all together, you got to pay attention to these things. The mannerisms, all that. The blinking of the eyes. I mean, she about to blow me away out of my chair. She's blinking so much with my eyelashes. Hey, this is the footage that the Caitlin Clark fan base hit me with. They was like, hey, Izzy, this is more evidence, man. More evidence that Cathy really said what she said to NAPHEESA Collier. Although she stepped out and she made sure she denied that statement. She said, no, I didn't say that. She didn't do that to the other statements as far as like, oh, the players should be grateful. But she came out and said, no, I did not say that about Caitlin Clark. She made sure she came out and said that one. But people aren't believing that statement because of how she went AWOL right here. And just said, hey, you know what? Let me clear this up for y'all, right? She said, hold my beer. I'm about to tell y'all something. And told us nothing, fam. Oh, my goodness. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this footage resurfacing the internet and just blowing up, man. It's just blowing up. People are calling for Cathy's job, saying, hey, Cathy, it's over for you. It's over for you, man. Whew. Y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about it. I love y'all. Y'all keep it smooth.